And then there's the two-faced, no backbone Mike Johnson, who is also framing this and claiming that the rhetoric just needs to stop. When's it going to stop? That's right. Mike Johnson is saying that we need to stop doing exactly what Republicans are doing today, which are blaming this on the radical left over and over and over again. Donald Trump has been doing this for years, but Mike Johnson seems to be complicit in thinking we all just need to tone it down.
Do you get the sense there is some real soul searching on both sides of the aisle about how we got here?
I think there is. I've spoken to a lot of members on both sides of the aisle, and there's this recognition that, you know, people have got to stop framing simple policy disagreements in terms of existential threats to our democracy and all these phrases you hear all the time. You can't call the other side fascists and enemies of the state and not understand that there are some deranged people in our society who will take that as cues to act and do crazy and dangerous things. And that's what we've seen in increasing frequency. So members of Congress and all public officials have an obligation to speak clearly into this and calm the waters. We can have vigorous disputes. I mean, Charlie Kirk was an expert at that. He loved debate. But Charlie also advanced another really important idea, and that is that he loved the people on the other side of that table. He was never motivated by hate. He was motivated by truth and love. And that's what we have to do. That's who we are as Americans. That is follows the best of our Judeo-Christian traditions and heritage and our civil society, and we have got to get back to that.
Will you talk?
Really? Is that true, Mike Johnson? It was just about love. Well, tell me, who was the person that said black women don't have the processing power to be taken seriously? Is that love? Charlie Kirk said that. He said black women have to go steal a white person's slot. Is that love and compassion? He said he couldn't stand the word empathy. He said empathy was a made-up age term and it does do a lot of damage. Is that love? Charlie Kirk said that we made a huge mistake when we passed the Civil Rights Act in the 1960s. Is that spreading love? I'm just asking. Charlie Kirk was the guy who said, if I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. Is that love? He called the LGBTQ movement a social contagion. Is that love? He said we needed the armed militias to prevent the diminishing and decreasing of white demographics. Is that love? No, I'm sorry. Charlie Kirk didn't spread love. He certainly didn't love everyone. Charlie Kirk was a man of hate. He was a racist. He was misogynist. He certainly was transphobic, homophobic. Charlie Kirk didn't spread love. And to this day, my opinion still stands. From the moments I heard that he was murdered, he did not deserve to be murdered. And that was a bad day for America. I never endorse, and I never would endorse. In fact, I call out political violence when it comes in all shapes and sizes. But don't sit here and tell me that Charlie Kirk spread love. That's not the definition of love. That is the definition of hate. And by the way, for all the MAGA Republicans out there who are saying that lefties have got to stop calling people like Charlie Kirk and Donald Trump socialists and fascists, I want you to listen to all the times, just a few, that I will play for you, of Donald Trump calling Kamala Harris a fascist at least on 4 separate occasions. But I didn't hear MAGA Republicans complaining about this.
Between these far-left fascists led by Harris and her group, we have a fascist person running who's incompetent. She's a Marxist, communist, fascist, socialist. She's not actually a socialist. She's gone past that. Somebody's got to explain this woman. This is a radical left Marxist, communist, fascist.
Those are some times where Donald Trump called Kamala Harris a fascist. But I don't hear MAGA Republicans back then or now calling that out. It's only if a Democrat says it, because, you know, if a Republican says it, that's totally fine. Because they are all hypocrites.